concern that you hear regarding Tua's health?
Well, if you watch Tua's press conference, I mean, he expressed that himself. You could see he's uncertain with what's going to happen in the future, because when he did make that visit, and he made the visit to New York, visit with Dr. Brian T. Kelly, who's the surgeon-in-chief at the Hospital for Special Surgery in New York. The hitman. The NFL uses him frequently. And that wasn't so much to really do thorough exams, because he can't even do the vascular exam, scan to see how the blood is flowing to the hip, for another month. But what he certainly wanted to discuss, and Tua did this with other doctors as well, is like, how does the medical grade work? How is that going to affect me? What can I expect going forward? Nothing's really changed. He's not going to be able to have a full workout for a team in mid-April. That's the projection right now. He might be able to move around a little bit and throw some. But that full workout quarterback, and he's going to the combine in February to get a medical grade. It's not going to be a good medical grade. Even the unknown, he expressed that today. The other thing I'd add is, this is why the January 20th underclassmen date is tough. I mean, I know this is a rare injury, but he needs more time, and he doesn't have more time, so he made the decision as he did.
When I look at this, there's part of me that wonders, like, isn't he the perfect candidate for like a luxury pick, like the after pick 20, a team that was pretty good, that maybe doesn't need him to play right away? I'm hearing teams that they need a quarterback yesterday. Like, it just doesn't seem like that's, and if no one's going to know, like, this isn't an ACL. If no one's really going to know, I don't know how you go in the top 5. I don't know how you as a team can sign off on that when there's still going to be way too much unknown.
Tim, I think on paper, I agree with that you would say, hey, he may not play this year, so we got to take him a little bit lower. But because there's always such a premium on quarterbacks, he will get overdrafted from a standpoint of what logic dictates, and someone will take a risk. And Mel alluded to some. I'll throw another team in there. The Detroit Lions at 3, if you're doing what's best for that franchise for the next 10 years, knowing that Matt Stafford's a great player, but he's getting older and durability's been a little bit of an issue, you may want to take someone like Tua and say, hey, we're not going to even play him in 2020. Maybe we put him on PUP so he can get healthy. And the big question that every team's going to ask themselves is, at the end of the day, is this a skill diminishing injury? Meaning, he's going to come back, he has a very good arm, there's going to be no questions about that, but from a mobility standpoint, will this hip slow him down in terms of how he moves?
And I think that's a big question that you won't have the answers to at the time that you're making this pick. And when we look at the playoffs right now, and you see the Russell Wilsons, even the Aaron Rodgers, but the Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, even Jimmy Garoppolo to an extent, this game has changed. And the mobility and the opportunities to improvise inside and outside of the pocket, those things are important. And I know he's getting compared to Drew Brees. I heard Mel Kiper say that earlier on SportsCenter. But one of the things he also does well is get outside of the pocket, give himself opportunities for second chance plays. And so I don't necessarily know you can do a full evaluation on the film of Tua Tagovailoa, not knowing what type of shape that hip will be in or what type of athlete he will be once he heals.
Here's something. I throw the Oakland Raiders in on that list too as well, in terms of possible landing spots, wherever they pick and however they want to use their extra picks. But, they had insurance ready to go for him. School can pay for even critical injury insurance. But as Tua mentioned, it's a risk whether he's playing in the pros or playing next year. And I have heard teams saying, we'll just redshirt him this year. But one thing about it is he still needs to play. His injuries on his ankle and his hip happened when he probably should have thrown the ball away. The only way you get better at that is by playing. And if he's not ready to play in September or October, then he's going to miss a full year of playing. But it's obviously a complex business decision.
Yeah, and look, if I were in his position, I would do the same thing. I'm just saying that, like, if I'm putting myself in the team's perspective, we're kind of talking like, yeah, you know what, he's not literally going to be able to do anything until after the draft, okay? So he's going to have done nothing. We're only going to get a few doctor's reports in terms of what the blood supply to the hip looks like kind of at that point. Okay, so we're not going to play, so maybe we'll redshirt him, the next year. Well, what if you're talking about more than 1 year?
Right.
Like, I think we're kind of almost assuming, like, well, you just sit out a year of football. Well, what if you've got to sit out multiple years of football?
But Tim, like, you're using logic. I'm saying from a supply and demand standpoint.
I would hope that teams drafted will use some logic.
But here's where logic doesn't work when you're running a team and there's such scarcity. Let's go back 24 hours. The Philadelphia Eagles a well-run organization are out playing a playoff game with a 40-year-old quarterback that was sitting right here, taking nothing away from quarterback sitting right here.
Yeah.
But the point is, they're
You take it away.
Ryan won't be
I
mad
got a
at
bad
you.
hip, knee, whole
But
deal. Yeah.
the point is, Josh McCown was playing a playoff game because there's just not good. There's not enough good quarterbacks on the planet. So Tua's going to get overdrafted. A team's going to take a risk. They're going to ignore the logic. I've been there. They're hard to find, and people are going to bet on the come because it's such a high ceiling if you hit on them.
I get that. I just am saying, like, wow, we're talking top 5, top 3.
Right.
We're doing
With
that.
a lot of
I
questions.
think he's going top 10.
Lamar Jackson went 32.
Two. They had to drop get back
Healthy.
into the first
You know
round.
what I mean?
Healthy.
Like, yeah, healthy. And by the way, didn't even have to run his 40 because he's like, y'all know I'm fast.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
give me a break. I'm not wasting your time.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of time
listen.
between now and the draft.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.